You have your stars already?
My what?
Stars?
Stars. My stars are ready. The planets are ready. My gates are ready. We are ready.
Ooh.
Hello, everyone. In fact, we've already been recording, and so we've got this little banter going on at the very beginning.
Hi, Janet.
Hello, Jason. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. I'm a little, not apprehensive. What's the word?
Anxious, excited.
There we go. Tonight I have, as some of the people may or may not know, my first solo show that you will be helping to produce called Titillating Tarot, 4 p.m. all of you Pacific timers, and 7 p.m. all the people out here in the New York metropolitan area on this East Coast. And I'm excited. I'll be demystifying the tarot, bringing it out of its rather low-level mentality understanding of gypsy fortune tellers to a serious and important divinatory metaphysical tool that is deeply steeped in astrology and other things. So I'm excited.
Numerology,
Yes.
all kinds of esoteric, metaphysical things.
Yes.
I'm excited. So it's again today, Titillating Tarot with Jason Livanis at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern.
All of you human designers that have enjoyed us, please tune in and ask questions. I will be giving readings on the air.
Woohoo!
Let's dig in, lady. What's going on?
Well, we're here today with the Human Design Energy Report for the week of November 16th through the 21st. It's amazing to me how fast these weeks go. They're
Yes.
5 days, sometimes 6 days long. So we're used to the 7-day calendar week. So these come fast. And before I know it, it's time to do another one of these reports. And I'm calling you up going, Jason, oh my God, we have a report to do. And you're going, what?
My Capricorn brain is saying, okay, Gemini, lay it on me last minute.
Get it together, girl. Get it together. So, of course, we always begin with the sun. And this week, the sun moves into gate 14, the gate of power skills. Now, really, this is all about money and the idea of generating wealth. So this is a week where we turn toward the idea of working for money. So those of you who have this by birth, you already have this as a part of your lexicon, the idea of the skills that it takes to go out and make money. For example, a working skill, the social skills to be able to talk with people or interact with people to find the opportunities. But also there's a sense of luck and an ease with which this energy flows out into the world, in that gate 14 is working for money, but they really don't have a lot of instinct about what it means to have money. So it's not like they're grasping for money in order to get somewhere with their lives. Essentially, that would be more of the wealth creation that we would see in the ego center or the will center. But because gate 14 sits on the sacral center, it is work for a passion. And working toward the energy of expression of the right work. So when you find your passion and you are working towards it, then the money flows almost as if by magic to you. So it's not necessarily, we do consider it a money gate, but whether or not you have this energy doesn't make much sense as far as how much money you make, because it's really about, what do I do with the money I get? Right? What am I going to put it to work doing for me? And how am I going to contribute? Which is also really interesting. We're going to talk about that when we get into the earth. First, would you like to draw a card, Jason, about the sun?
While you were going on, I will bring it here. I know you're going to put it into a different view, and so I should keep talking so you can see.
Yep,
everybody. Wonderful card number 8. I will bring it in a little bit so you can see right here.
That's down. There we go. Perfect.
Balance. So we have what looks like a shim. A she and a him. A shim. This is an androgynous figure. This is somebody who right here is in balance. Now, what does that mean? Let's talk about Susie Orman for a second, which I know that we have maybe touched on once or twice. She is that wonderful financial advisor. And lots of times, she talks about our relationship to money.
Yes.
And how important our relationship to money is. And many times when we look at the emotions behind money, we, of course, when we discuss emotions, have to discuss metaphysics. We have to discuss what is our spiritual connection to money. Now, if you take all of your money and you hoard it Tell us, sweet Janet, what's probably going to happen?
Lack.
You're going to hoard it, and you're going to stop the flow. That balance was about moving the feng shui. That balance is about it moving around. So like Susie Orban says, if at all possible, when you're making your dinero, 5, 10, 15, whatever the money is that you can afford to donate, move it around. Dedicate it to something because it will come back to you tenfold. If you hoard it, there's a problem. If you're taking the money and doing the right things with it, that's what this card is saying. But this card is saying that if you are completely focused on just money, how am I going to get money? What can I do to make more money? That's not what you said, for instance, about this card. It's about your relationship to money. If you change your spiritual outlook towards this, if you start to investigate your passions, which will make you happier, which will get you some mojo, which won't be the, oh God, it's Monday, I fucking hate my life, I have to get up and, right? As opposed to, you know what, I'm going to donate this $5, $10 to feed these dogs, to take care of children somewhere. I can assure you, your mojo, your spiritual, your emotional is going to amp up. It's going to change. You will start to magnetize. But what the card is warning you against is becoming lopsided.
Right.
Don't want that lopsided. You want to keep a balance. That means doing good with the money, as well as having to pay the devils of mortgage and all the other things that we do.
Correct.
So balance.
Balance. That makes perfect sense because gate 14 from the sacral is reaching up to gate 2 at the G center, which is really a gate of receptivity, right? Of receiving. So balance would suggest that at one end we're receiving, at the other end we are working for the contributions that we're going to make. So that brings me to the earth, because the earth this week is in gate 8, which is called the gate of contribution. So here is the energy for wanting to get things done, for, even though it doesn't connect directly with gate 14, but wanting to make the contribution. If I'm working for money and I have a goal in mind, for example, I want to take a trip, or I want to contribute money to a Kickstarter fund or something like that, then in gate 8 what we have is the energy for making the difference, for being able to contribute. In fact, gate 8 at the opposite end is connected to gate 1, which is life purpose, or a life mission. So the mission looking for its contribution. And this week we have the idea that we, in the right timing and with the recognition that comes from the throat of being able to contribute, we have the ability to make a difference in the world, to make a difference in our communities, in our families, in our relationships. So it's also the design of the creative role model. So ask the question of yourself this year, or this week, what am I a role model of? What am I showing other people about myself? And it is in no small measure the walking your talk or leading by example energy. So be the change you want to see in the world. If what we're seeing is a totally discordant energy in the world, the only way that you can work that through is to become peaceful in yourself, and then you can start to see how that affects the world.
Fascinating stuff.
It is.
So from the 8 of the major arcana to the swords, we have this lovely card.
The 8 of Swords.
Does it look happy?
He looks a little punished or pained, struggling.
Look at all those swords.
Yeah, 8 of them.
Down upon him. This card is called Indecision. Indecision. So, how many times do we let stuff monstrify? And again, block us, hold us in place. So you talk about the sun, and you talk about this idea of the balance and letting things flow, and then all of a sudden you have the earth coming in saying, shit or get off the pot. That's basically that's exactly what this card is saying. It's saying, do something. This card is saying it is important for you to not stay stuck. This card is saying it is important for you to make important decisions with respect to what it is you're doing. If you have a passion, it's time to get it going. It's time to move. So this card, the earth, is supporting the sun, which a lot of times the sun is energizing other things. Not so much this time with this card, which is saying to you, you need to get a hold of what you are pussyfooting around with and what it is that you need to do to get done. What kind of a space are you creating for it to get done? It's a very big thing because it talks about, you know, we often put things off. We table it somewhere else in our minds. Oh, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. Oh, I'll do that. Or, you know, maybe I will donate. Oh, just because that loudmouth Greek said I should. I don't know. All the kinds of excuses that we have with respects to indecision. This card is saying, make the space, create the change. Don't be a pussyfooter.
You know, that's really kind of interesting to me because for the last couple of weeks, we've had a lot of the energies of the spleen that are have been energized. And the spleen gates can be called paralysis points because they're places of fear. So in this respect, then what I think this is saying is movement towards creating a space for action, creating a space for doing something, anything, so that it can change the energy. That's kind of how I see that. Now, if we start looking at some of the other planets like Venus, Mars, and Mercury, what we see, they're overlapping this week into the same energies of the late part of last week. So Mercury still in the gate of focus, but overlapping into the gate of patterns. So Mercury represents, what are we speaking to? So we're speaking on something that we should have as a focus, right? What if I'm claiming to be an astrologer and a human design consultant, then what I should be speaking to are those things and the things that they represent, for example, destinies and life purposes and so forth. And it's so fascinating because I have found myself this week really focusing in, to use the word focus, on what is my message and what am I going to share as it relates to everything that's going on in the world? How am I going to show up in the world? And that's the big question I think that this, thing with Mercury brings up. Now, Venus brings up the energy of joy. Remember last week she was bliss. She went along with the bliss card. And that joy of expression, the smile on your face and the happiness that we can exude. And then she goes from that energy to the gate of the fight this week, gate 38. Now, that to me says something about purpose and meaning in life. Like, what is worth fighting for? What's worth, is joy and the expression of joy and pleasure, is it worth fighting for? And if it is, then we need to align ourselves with that. So the inner planets are supporting some of those underlying things that we have to work through in order to gain the sun, earth energies.
Crazy. So I don't know whether people can see while you're talking, we are doing things differently last week and this week from usual. That in fact, I'm pulling cards as you're speaking. And so you'll see me referring down. What I'm doing is I'm listening to you and I'm pulling cards and trying not to laugh.
Right. You're big and you're in gallery view, so show us your card.
Excellent. So I would love to, now remember the last one with the swords coming down?
Yes.
Okay. This is its brother card.
Oh, the wands. You on fire.
What's going on in this card?
Looks like he's on fire.
Puro. All of these sticks. I'll bring it in closer. Is that good? Tell me.
Yeah, perfect.
And the fire. This man crouched over, humped over, burdened by his straw that broke the camel's back, the burro's back. On top here, very hard to see. Tell me, can you see what's on top of the head?
An owl.
Yes. Wisdom. This card talks to me when you're talking about Mercury. This is the card called, let me see if I can make sure that I get the exact, yes, bearing the burden, beast of burden. The other one talks about all of the stoppages, all of the self-inflicted mental anxieties about what I can't do, what I shouldn't do, la 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 la. This is the card actualized. This is when it comes to really feeling bogged down and not moving left or right and feeling crushed because you're in a situation that you're not taking action on. This is a hardcore card, but you know, a lot of this is like, oh, mea culpa, is all the self-flagellating stuff. But what I love about this card is the owl, the wisdom, which means at some point, folks, you're going to have to shit or get off the pot because it's going to reach maximum density. And you cannot go around hobbled over like this for the rest of your life. Well, you can, but it's going to be damn uncomfortable. What I love.
And frustrating if you're a generator or a manifesting generator.
But to recap what you said about Venus, is that she really is championing us in this next period to move ahead, to do something, interestingly enough.
Along the lines of what it is that has meaning for us.
The wands come up again, and I love this card.
We've seen this card before.
Yes.
Is that the card that is, no, it's not bliss, is it?
No.
No.
This is called Seize the Day.
Carpe diem.
This is the wands. This is you in the center, Janet. These are all the hands spiraling off from you. This is the card that says that you have the ability to make the change. You can be that spitfire, that you can try to understand the mechanisms that are going on with your relationship to money, to your relationship to sex, to your relationship to family. Once you sort of get a hold of that, you can make this change. You can skillfully align yourself with what it is that you need to do to move forward. Hence, that little idea here becomes a big idea into action, spinning off the top of the head of this burro. No longer stuck. You can be that dynamo, but you got to get in touch with your shit. You got to actually address it. You've got to actually stare it down in the face and say, okay, look, I am dying with mortgage debt here. I am dying with credit card debt here. Get your ass to a financial advisor. Don't think you know everything. Right. It's okay to get help.
Action. Take action. And the action isn't just like willy-nilly action. It's about going back to the card you pulled for the sun, which is about bringing balance and harmony, which takes me right to Jupiter in that Jupiter in Libra, at least until next October, is begging us to please bring things into balance and perspective and to harmonize things as opposed to doing things that take it out of harmony. Balance is an interesting word because I think it's one of those things that we seek that we'll never find in completion, because the nature of this whole universe is about change. Balance says I might have to do some things differently sometimes to bring things as much into balance as we can. And part of all of this begins with our vision. What do we want? And getting clarity on that, I think this is a great time of the year to start thinking about what does 2017 hold for me as far as what do I want? I don't want you to look at the energies yet of 2017. We've got time for that. But what do I want to create in 2017 that I'm not creating right now? Who do I want to be? And I've already decided that I'm undergoing a creative revolution and a human design revolution. That's going to be my year. 2017. So I've already got these ideas and concepts that are forming. And interestingly enough, as we start to look at Jupiter, I'm checking my book here really quickly because I think it's the last day of this week. I don't know how I got into February. Freaking back. Yeah, it's the last day of this week. So the 21st, when Jupiter changes out of the gate 48, which was the gate of seeking mastery. It's called the well, the depth. It's a depth card. So it's a gate that we really see mastery achieved in, or the fear that we don't have enough knowledge or we don't have enough tools to be able to master something. But it's switching from that to the energy of gate 57, which is intuition. So the thing that I just shared with you about what my direction was next year just came up. It bubbled out of a knowingness that I had, out of an intuition that I had. It wasn't something that I connected with physically. I told you I've been having these dreams and working all night, it seems like, in some workshop somewhere. I don't know what. and new concepts of cycles and planets have been coming to me all week long. And I think it's in preparation for this intuitive leap that I'm taking, the faith to take an intuitive leap in a direction that's correct for me. And so we're all going to be facing that as we start in with the growth and expansion potential being in our using our intuition, tuning into the inner world, letting the inner world reveal sort of the truth of what your next steps are. Does that make sense?
Yup.
And not letting ourselves get paralyzed by inaction, the fear of what does that mean for the future. Because gate 57 is also on the spleen, so it does have a component of fear or paralysis attached to it. That is our fear of moving forward. So crash through it, act anyway, do it, just do it.
Interesting, because I don't often hear you say just do it.
I know.
I think that's fascinating.
According to your type and strategy, just do it according to your type and strategy.
All right, I'll let you have the addendum. Would you say that what you were just discussing was Mercury at this point? What were you sort of...
I sort of got away from Mercury, Venus, Mars, and went right into Jupiter. So Jupiter.
While you were talking, one of our favorite cards.
Oh, yes.
And what is that card?
Mercury.
And everything. Yeah, this talks about going within and doing everything you just said. What are you going to do this year? What's your new game plan? Who are you going to become from what you have been?
Yeah.
How is it you've been asleep and now you need to wake yourself up?
How am I going to show up?
Yeah, and look, the beautiful butterfly that you know, that being the essence of your spirit as opposed to being cocooned, hunched over, full of burden. I mean, I know that a lot of times maybe we talk and people think that we're being kind of touchy-feely here, but I mean, anybody that knows me, I'm certainly not the good cop. I'm pretty pragmatic in Capricorn, and I'm kind of like, well, not death, doom, disaster, but look, is the cup half empty or half full? Well, to me, the cup just has liquid in it.
That's interesting.
Right. I'm not sitting here to slice and dice you about and I just made that up on the spot, but it's the analogy that I'm giving you because I think some people want to base it on their opinion. And the fact of the matter is that's not an opinion. This is half full. Now, if you want to look at it negatively or positively, you might want to think about the consequences of that. But if you do look at it positively, sure as shit, you're going to get something that looks more like this than that burro, half man, half burro, hunched over.
Dug in.
I have to tell you, I help to run a group. And Janet, I see people there. They are missing legs. Other people who've just come out of electroshock treatment. We're talking about a group of people who are really going through hard times. And I wish everyone could go to a group like this for just one time. I bet you would see a lot more change in this world when people realize that they can get up, God damn it, in the morning and walk to the kitchen to get their coffee.
Go to work every day. Make
exactly.
a living in the usual way.
Whatever usual is, but at least contributing to themselves and to society, you know. So what I can tell you is this emergence is asking you, and so is the other one where Seize the Day and the card before, it's asking you to take stock. Don't become lopsided. Get full. I mean, I'm looking at you now, right? And you said to me, I've been X, Y, and Z, and in 2017, I'm looking to do X, Y, and Z. You're looking for balance. You're looking to pick up where something is either lacking or missing. And that's awesome. That's what it should be about. Yep. Looking at that astrological wheel and saying, oh, all of your planets are in this part of the house. You need to even some shit out. You need to get some balance to your life.
Balance also to me means perspective, right? Taking a look at it from a different viewpoint and harmonizing with every part of you and not just one part of you, right? So bringing everything into equilibrium maybe, but gaining perspective.
I like your little robot dance. Oompa Loompas. Gotcha. Okay.
Don't get me started. Don't get me on a song. I'll be singing it all the rest of the day.
Awesome. So that is on that. Do you have any more energies for me today to pull on, or are we sort of done for the week?
We're sort of done for this week. Now, there are some really interesting things happening as we get into the next month. I've already got my handy dandy 2017. So pretty soon here, I will be putting together, and I'm hoping you will join me in this, putting together the astrology of 2017, and maybe we can just pull some cards for each of the months of the year and see like what kind of energies we're looking at.
That's kind of cool, yeah.
Yeah, kind of an overarching theme maybe for the year. So
not to put you on the spot, but what's cooking for Thursday show for you?
Oh, you brat! I just told you I hadn't even done it yet. But what I am thinking about is life purpose, because I think that's been a big question of late. I was just interviewed by a lady in Europe this week, and it was all around life purpose.
Life purpose.
Life purpose. So I may take a look at life purpose. And as I was sharing with Jason earlier, gosh, do I want to reveal this?
No, don't. Leave a cliffhanger. I just wanted to get in a sense of what's going on. So all of you people tune in on Thursday, 4 o'clock Pacific time and 7 o'clock on Eastern time to get Janet's unique perspective on life purpose, which I think, I tell you, a lot of people go through life clueless, feeling like they're out to sea and just being tossed around. Not so much if you can get a hold of the life purpose.
It's really important right now to get in touch with that, because everybody does have something, a purpose, a mission, something that they're here to do, or someone that they're here to be. And the more that you can tune into that and the more you can live from that place, the less likely some of the more, dare I say, tricky and revolutionary energies that come up as we get into December, they won't be able to so easily put you off balance. So it's very important. We're laying a template here, and the outer world is not going to help us. So it has to come from within us.
I would like to add one last thing that I've been thinking a lot about, because you have definitely impressed upon me. I know this is touchy-feely to all you people out there. Get over it. However, when you've watched this video, if maybe you and I will just do it. No, you know what? You and I will do it together now. It's going to seem like dead space, dead air to everybody. But since this last election, I have seen some horrific things going on the internet and on Facebook. Everything from the N-word this to fag church that to really unnecessary things that speak to who we are not here in the United States. But I suppose a pimple at some point must burst. That being said, I would love to take a moment of silence to spin out of the top of our head love energy and literally think about putting a bubble around the United States of love energy to help soothe some of this difficult, challenging, obstructive energy that we're coming up against now that it seems that there's a leader who might be the figurehead for some of this negativity. So for right now, I'd like to bask the world, but the United States, in love and positive white and pink love. Thank you for letting me do that, Janet.
Not a worry. That was awesome. And I would just add one more thing to it. When you get that picture of white or pink or blue, I don't care what color it is, that beautiful love energy, network it through all the cells of your body. Let it go from the tip of your head all the way down to the tip of your toes. And then once you have that filled in you, then let it spill outside of you and let it just work its magic throughout the world. Because literally we can make change just by changing ourselves. There we go. We got our week. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, letting us share what we are passionate and what we love to do. We'll see you tonight or hear you tonight on Jason's Titillating Tarot at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. And hopefully tomorrow we'll also hear you on Living Astrology at 4 p.m. Pacific and 7 p.m. East Coast. Bye,
This is becoming a thing.
Bye for now, everyone.